probably the most anticipated Jerry interview we've had in our 6 years. Let's bring in the Hall of Famer. And on Friday, birthday boy, Jerry Jones on 105.3 The Fan. Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
Hey guys, good morning, and let's have a good day.
Are the birthday plans set for Friday already?
Well, really, I don't know what's going to happen between here and Friday, so I'm not going to make any real definitive plans. But you won't see fireworks going off over this one, as far as I'm concerned. I just feel good, and it's exciting to be a part of Cowboys, and exciting to be just part of it.
All right, Jerry, so on Sunday night, this became a national story. We thought that the anthem story kind of faded away a little bit, and then you reapproached it and commented on it again. Why did you decide to discuss the issue, and what do you want to make known about you and the Cowboys' stance? Well,
I'm very proud of the way our guys have handled the anthem and their respect for the flag. Obviously, our team, our players, our entire organization have respect the flag. I want to be sure that we are part of creating that perception. So much of what we do is about the perception, or is about just the image that we have. If you'll look at our operating manual, that I think this particular part of it, what we do in respecting the anthem and respecting the flag, has been in that operating manual for 30 years. I think there is a debate as to whether or not it's a rule, or whether or not being a part of the operating manual is something we have to go by. But I don't see it that way. I think it's very clear the intent of the NFL for years has been to stand and have that moment in recognition, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, respect again for the flag. So I want to be real clear. I want a very bright line for everyone to basically say, if somebody asks a part of our organization to do something other than necessarily what's in the manual. I don't want to be totally succinct about where you place a hand as to what part of your body it's on, but I don't want there to be any confusion as to respecting the flag. You'll know it, we'll know it when we see it, as far as I'm concerned. And so I've been really wanting to clear this up. The other day I had hoped that this issue would kind of subside and go away as far as the NFL is concerned. And apparently after the game the other day it hadn't. And I just wanted to be real clear, mainly with our fans and the public, where we stand with the flag.
Jerry Jones joins us here at 105.3 The Fan. All right, so you mentioned no one's going to disrespect the flag. What do you consider disrespecting the flag? Is that fists up?
I think you'll know it when you see it.
Jerry, how do you feel about the opinion of some that you are basically taking away the choice or right for your players to do what they want in that moment? A couple of weeks ago you said, I asked them what to do in Arizona. I did not tell them. What do you say to those who think you're telling them what to do now, otherwise they won't play?
This is a workplace issue. I don't want there to be any misunderstanding as to where I want the personnel of the Cowboys to be when we're at the number one workplace we have, which is the field and the sideline on game day. And so, again, I want to do everybody a service, as I should in leading the team, of saying, let's be real clear about what our expectations are. And so that if anybody asks you or wants to talk about it, then you can say, this is where I work, and this is the expectation, and this is what we do where I work.
Jerry, have you spoken to a lot of guys or any guys about this since Sunday night? And if so, how?
I've had good communication on this issue for a long time in my estimation, and we worked through very arduously before the game in Arizona, and as a group, and I mean that the entire team. Now, the two guys that were in question Sunday that basically held their hand up after the anthem was over. I am not for sure just how close to the end of the anthem and when they held their hand up. They weren't in Arizona. They weren't a part of what we were talking about as a team, we being me and the team. And we basically felt that we would all recognize that we were together, we were backing each other, and we went out and had a kneeling prayer. And and then when it came time to have the anthem, we all stood and respected the flag there in Arizona. Having said that, that's the type of thing, and if we're going to have any other recognition, the place to have it is before the anthem, in my view, and be real clear that it's not associated with the anthem. I think it's real important for our players that they have that to reply to anybody, whether they're asking them to express themselves or not, that the way we do it where I work, where I earn my livelihood, is that we stand for the flag.
Jerry Jones, brought to you by Bank of America and Ford, the official vehicles of your Dallas Cowboys. Jerry, how long has this belief or policy been in place, and why has the playing time aspect of it not come up until Sunday?
Well, number one, respecting the flag has been in place for the Cowboy organization. It was in place when I got here almost 28 years ago. It's been in place ever since. This is nothing new about standing for the flag. What we've, in my opinion, have gotten to is that it seems as though there's and not seems, I know there is a debate about whether there's respect there or not when someone kneels for the flag. I recognize that debate, but someone has to clear it up, and which comes first, the rights to kneel or respecting the flag, if the perception is by a lot of people that kneeling is respecting the flag. I'm clearing that up as far as the workplace of the Dallas Cowboys.
Jerry, after the bye week, team heads to San Francisco. This is where the whole anthem protest started with Colin Kaepernick. Let's just say one of your players sits. Are you prepared to sit any player who disrespects the flag, including Dak or Zeke or Dez?
I'm not in any way going to, let's say, conjecture as to what if we don't stand for the flag. The policy and my actions are going to be that if you do not honor and stand for the flag in a way that a lot of our fans feel that you should, if that's not the case, then you won't play. That's nothing new as far as that being my wish or the way I want the Cowboys to have. As far as whether or not I will basically institute or basically do what I said, I just would say that the implication that we're not respecting the flag is not going to is just not going to be accepted. And so I would just ask anybody to look at my record relative to what I say I'm going to do and see and go from there.
Jerry, in a lot of this discussion, people have said, we've gotten lost here. This isn't about disrespecting the flag. It's about social injustices. What would you say to that? That Jerry is taking a hardline stance that a lot of people agree with about you shouldn't be disrespecting the flag. But it's not. This whole subject isn't about disrespecting the flag. It's about social injustices. What do you say to those people?
Well, I'm not going to. I'm trying to differentiate that. Your point is right as far as I'm concerned. And so added to these social injustices has now become, for a large part of society, if it's done in the workplace as to the flag, then a large part of our group feels that's disrespecting the flag. I don't have the luxury with the Dallas Cowboys to basically have a 51-49 situation or a 60-40 situation. I don't want our fans to have to, in addition, be excited about the Cowboys. I don't want our fans to have to sit there and have angst over those type of issues. As to the flag, all I'm saying is that comes ahead of all issues. And so that I'm not going to have a situation with the flag that there is a debate over whether we're respecting that or not. I'm clearing that one up.
Okay.
As far as the other social issues, I think that if anybody would look at what the Cowboys have been over the years, I think that we've been very sensitive to social issues. I agree with you that all of this has gotten mixed messages. What we did in Arizona, I thought, addressed both issues. This gets to a point to where both is not enough. You have to say which is the priority. Our priority is creating the implication that the flag is being respected.
Jerry Jones joined us here at 105.3 The Fan. Jerry, the president tweeted this morning posing the question, why is the NFL getting tax breaks when their players disrespect the flag, change the tax law now? Are taxes playing any role in this for you in this stance?
No, I haven't seen the tweet, and again, I don't want to get in the issues. It's so not perplexing, but it's so frustrating that with us having to get our defense going, with us having to really address what we're doing as a team and what we're doing on the field. I know that the primary reason that the Dallas Cowboys are supported is because of what we do on the field, if not, in my mind, the only reason. Now, when I get up in the morning, my whole priority is the Dallas Cowboys. And so I have other things that I'm interested in, but at the end of the day, if I think something is not in the best interest of the Cowboys, then I'm going to address it. And it's not in the best interest of the Cowboys for them to be in this debate. It's not in the best interest of the Cowboys, whether it's right or wrong, to imply that we don't respect the flag. I've never had that problem with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm so proud of them that we've always stood and, in my mind, respected the flag. I want them to have the ammunition to tell anybody that asks them to do anything otherwise or demonstrate at that period of time that I don't get to play if I do that. I want that to be there for them to say.
Jerry, on the field, are you worried that this could be a team distraction with players being asked about it nonstop, or it could cause a possible divide in the locker room?
Well, let me just say this. At that particular point, when you go to the field, I know firsthand that a player's mind should be on nothing but what he's going to do with his next steps out on that football field. It should be on his opponent. It should be not only on the team across the field, it should be on the player that he's going to have to beat across the field. No, I do not think this is a distraction in any way. I have no issue. I have a complete NFL career in establishing beyond reproach that I back the players. I've been as a matter of fact, one of the criticisms of my time in the NFL is that I'm too supportive of the players. This goes back not only while they're playing in their active careers, this is after their active careers are over. There's no way that anybody could say that I'm not supportive of players and their issues. This time, the Cowboys and what's best for the Cowboys. This time, what's best for the flag. implication or not, whether it's a fact or implication, that's going to be the priority over all the other issues.
Jerry Jones, brought to you by Bank of America and Ford here on 105.3 The Fan. Are you worried at all, Jerry, about ever since we've known you and had you on the show, you've kind of stayed apolitical. We don't talk about who you vote for. One segment of the fan base will get ticked off no matter what. We're getting a lot of feedback from minority Cowboy fans that they're not happy with this approach. Are you worried about losing or alienating a segment of your fan base?
The reason that I'm basically doing what I'm doing is because I want to remove us from that debate. They don't have to worry about what the Cowboys are going to do. They don't have to anticipate about what we're going to do. We're going to, without question, recognize the flag. We've always done that. We've always done it. And I'm so appreciative of that for the last 27 years. And so part of this is to be real clear so that anybody that thinks that the Cowboys don't respect the flag as the number one priority, and everybody will admit now that there is a debate as to whether you're disrespecting the flag or not by standing or kneeling. There is a debate. So I'm going to remove that debate. Therefore, I'm moving it away from the politics.
Okay. Last thing, Jerry. Are you concerned because of the president's tweets or your conversations with him that the perception will be that you're aligned with the president in a political view?
Okay, I've thought that through. I'm a friend of the president. We don't agree on many matters, and I'm really in practice apolitical. I really can't afford to be relative to the Dallas Cowboys in my number one job, and so that I would simply say we're addressing the issue in part because he's been very active in the issue. In part, that stirred it up. And because it is stirred up is one of the reasons I'm drawing a bright line. But I'm simply stating the way that I have felt, the way that everybody really knows that I have felt. And I'm simply reminding everybody that that will be the policy. In doing that, I'm getting real good consequences for all of our personnel as to when someone asks them why they're not or why they are the way they are, they simply can say, that's what I do because I like to work there and I want to work there, and I'm doing that for that's a part of my workplace responsibility. Everybody understands that. You can't do things if you work in your workplace. There's certain things that you can't do that don't really reconcile with how you have to be with your customer base, let's say, your listener base. In our case, it's our fan base. And so we basically are saying this debate doesn't reconcile with what we're trying to do. We're trying to get people's mind away from the troubled times. We're trying to take them away from all other parts of the newspaper. That's where we talk about all the frailties, and we're trying to get them over to the sports page where they shouldn't be reading about anything but how inept we are defensively or offensively or how good we are as a team. And that's our role, and that's what I'm doing with my position as the leader of the team.
Jerry, we've spent a great deal of time this week talking about the final offensive drive, the 2nd-and-1 pass play, scoring potentially too quickly. How would you have changed that final offensive possession? Would you have done anything different?
Well, that's hindsight, and every day I probably have a minimum of 3 or 4 things that I would do over at the end of the day, and I'm serious about that. If you're right 50% of the time, you're exceptional. And success is recognizing when you're right and letting that run long and recognizing when you're wrong and cutting that off quick. It's not if you're smart enough to be right every time. A ball game, you have many decisions as a coach as to what to do. I've never questioned a player that is in a reaction type situation. And by the way, at the end of the game, with a minute on the clock, our team down 4, we're reacting. Things can happen. And so I don't in any way take issue with scoring a touchdown to go up with a minute. We all recognize that that's too much time for Rodgers, and he'll beat you most of the time. That's been our own experience. I have always, for better or for worse, taken the route on decision-making that probably, if we miss, hits me square in the nose. And so I have, but I've always thought that at the end that I probably am the most responsible, and I've got to take the chance of getting hit on the nose. And it's happened very often. But out there, that decision would have been one that had we not gotten the score, had we run the clock down to 10 seconds, we had the ability to do it, and not gotten the score, that would have been one on the nose for the decision makers. That was probably probably unbearable.
Jerry, thanks for the way you handled all this morning. Not an easy subject. We had a lot of questions for you, and we appreciate you answering them as you always do. So thank you for the time. Have a good week, and a happy birthday on Friday.
Thanks, guys.